Greetings to everyone! My name is Nadia, you're on my channel called Baddie Neddy, and today I'm presenting you FERIADO TOWN, my custom shopping district for Veronaville. Yes guys, you can call me lazy, but I really chose to reuse the greeting from my previous video on FERIADO TOWN. Because why not? Most of my subscribers have never seen that video anyway. I mean, it's already been almost a year since I uploaded it, and it barely got 500 views, when it's clearly not a Let's Play episode, and when I have over 1400 subscribers. Over 6 months of work and 500 views in a year. I know that some other simmers could have completed a similar hood in just 2 weeks, but I was still so much disappointed by that flop that I had my hair cut. Joking, of course. I'd had this haircut planned in advance and I've been really enjoying it. Anyway, now I no longer have any stupid hopes or expectations, so if this video gets my regular 250 views, I will be absolutely satisfied. This video is for that handful of people who asked me about a fuller overview of FERIADO TOWN. I promised to make it a while ago, so to save the time I'll do it in the form of a regular gameplay video. So, welcome to FERIADO TOWN once again. By the way, feriado means holiday in Portuguese. I have no idea why I forgot to mention it in the previous video on the neighborhood, but at least I'm saying it now. Anyway, this is the main hood version of FERIADO TOWN. I mean, it was originally imagined and created as a custom shopping district for Veronaville, but I was requested to make the main hood version of it, and here it is. All I needed for this main hood version to exist was to add a bunch of NPCs, and overall the current number of NPCs is 58. There are 2 NPCs of each type, with the exception of cash register sims. There are 5 of them, and unfortunately there are no holes. I forgot to do the holes because they were not present in the list of goods that you need to create NPCs, and I just forgot that they existed. I could have, of course, looked up some of my other save files to see what goods they had, but I just completely forgot about them. Well, there is already one randomly generated NPC, the carpool driver Amanda Strait, so I don't think it will be a big problem if there is one more randomly generated NPC in the neighborhood. But enough of talking. Well, I just wanted to say how nice this neighborhood looks from the top view. If only it looked as nice when the builds are taken separately. You know, I'm not a builder. To create a good neighborhood, you need to be good at 3 things. You need to be a good builder, you need to be a good storyteller, and you need to be good at creating beautiful and unique looking sims. Unfortunately, I'm only good at storytelling. Sorry guys, I'm really sorry to everyone who played in FERIADO TOWN so far, but the residential lots are a mess. The community lots are slightly better, I think. Anyway, let's read the updated description of the neighborhood. If you recently moved to FERIADO TOWN, it might feel like a holiday neighborhood. But those who've lived here for a couple of years have already learned how hardworking most locals are. Nearly everyone's got their own business. And only the locals themselves know they can always find an opportunity to stir some kind of drama, no matter how busy they seem to be. In the original description there was something about being unable to leave this neighborhood because the local community lots are too good. But now it's more about the drama that's going on in the neighborhood, and overall there isn't like a plot that covers every single family. But all the families are still connected to each other. It's not the same way as it was in Blue Water Village, where no one really knew other business owners. Here it's different. And by the way, the lore for all the living Sims stayed the same, of course. And while I'll review the lore, I will only go through the main picture for the family and their family album, because if I start reading all the Sims' personal bios or go through their memories, it will take me ages, guys. I've already checked, and such kind of footage takes over 1.5 hours. Of course, I don't want this video to be that long, but I think the photos will be enough to intrigue you, and overall the photos I think are always the most interesting part. Let's get to the first family in the neighborhood, the Grutens. Basil is simply obsessed with his business. It's such a shame he's got 2 daughters who don't seem to be interested in selling cars. And this picture perfectly shows what kind of family they are. Marceline Gruten is going crazy over her husband. She believes that he is the hottest man in the neighborhood. Basil himself dislikes his older daughter Paula because she's too feminine. She enjoys fashion, dresses, especially pink ones. And Charlie here in the front, she just exists and no one cares. Now I will go to their lot and you'll see what I was talking about when I mentioned how bad the residential lots were. That's horrible. I'm so bad at self-advertising, guys. Welcome to the Gruten family house. As you can see, the roofing is simply a mess. And I can explain why. You see, I wanted them to have this attic room for Charlie, but at the same time I didn't want the second floor to be too big, and I ended up with this. I'm really sorry, guys. Again, I'm really sorry. I'm not a builder. That's all I can say. Anyway, the household consists of 4 Sims. First of all, there is Basil Gruten. Let me show you his face. Yeah, he is here in the backyard in the process of fixing one of his cars for his car showroom. By the way, the car showroom is literally behind the house. Like this, you can see it better. It's like very close by. They can honestly just walk there. The next Sim in the household is Basil's wife Marceline. She is here in the living room. Well, unfortunately she's reading. Let me unpause the game. Yeah, she's actually probably the most beautiful female Sim in this neighborhood. That's her face, by the way. There is also the oldest daughter, Paula, here lounging in her own bedroom and listening to music, I suppose. That's her. She is like a good mix between her father and mother. And finally, there is Charlie. Charlie is here on the porch, playing cops and robbers with her towny friend, Thelma Fursosa. And Charlie definitely takes more after her father, Basil. Anyway, let's get to the family album, and after that I will go through some funny details about the family, because that's all I can do to not make the video too big. The first picture in the album shows you how Marceline and Basil met each other. They met each other at the local library. By the way, guys, in case you thought that Basil is into tinkering because he owns a car showroom, you are wrong. His one true hobby is film and literature, just the way it is for his wife Marceline, which I find pretty cute. At least they have something in common, right? In the second picture, Basil is having some troubles with his business. He's just started. He is not super confident with the cash register yet. The third picture shows you their wedding, and there are 3 more Sims in the shot. There is Adeline Villar in the blue dress. She's a playable character, and her and Marceline have been friends since primary school. The blonde lady in the middle is Marceline's mother Elise, and the older guy here is Basil's father Lars. In the fourth picture, you can see the way Paula was brought up. She was wearing pink dresses. Marceline was dressing her up in pink dresses. Marceline herself was wearing pink gowns, and they were spending time in this crazy pink nursery. So no wonder that Paula ended up being so girly by Basil's standards. However, in the next picture, you can see that Charlie, the blonde, the youngest daughter, was brought up slightly differently. She was mostly brought up by her grandfather Lars, and I strongly recommend looking at Charlie's interests and probably downloading a mod that prevents interests from changing. I think that would be better for the gameplay experience in this neighborhood. And yes, in the next picture, Basil is yelling at his wife for only giving birth to girls, as if she could influence that, but he's not the nicest guy, you know. And in the final picture, you can see Paula sitting here on the porch and dreaming about love, while her younger sister Charlie is socializing with her friends. Gary Jones in the middle, he's also a playable character, and the towny friend Thelma Fersosa, whom we've just seen here already. As for the curious details and facts, there are several interesting things in Basil's bio. First of all, you can see that Basil was never in love with his wife. Yes, he got engaged to her, and it's a positive memory. He got married to her, it's also a positive memory, but he never loved her. And on his relationship panel, you can see that he only has a crush on her. He just sees her as an attractive woman, and that's it. He is not interested in anything else, so probably he is unable to experience big feelings. Another interesting detail is, of course, his negative memories about having daughters. Well, obviously you should ignore the description, but he was not happy, he wanted to have a son, and also, as you can see, he doesn't have any memories about his daughters growing up. And it's not an oversight, guys. That's my intention. I wanted to show that he was so indifferent to his daughters that when they were born as girls, he just put huge red crosses over them and ignored them. He most likely has no idea when their birthdays are, he doesn't care how they grow, if they grow at all. That's Basil to you. Another interesting detail is that Charlie and Paula were quite a bit based off of myself and my older sister. I don't want to say that they're our exact copies, but especially their relationships with each other and their relationships with their parents are quite a bit similar to ours, you see. And finally, Paula. Poor Paula here, who is of course a romance aspiration sim, but you see, she is more on the neat side, she is very nice and she's not particularly playful. Please guys, do not play her as a sim who sleeps around. She was intended to be a hopeless romantic. I hope you've read her bio and you've found that out successfully. Now I'll move to the next family. The second family are the Mestres. I'm not really sure how to pronounce their last name though. Looking at his music store, Eduardo is secretly glad that he lost his job. If only Lind wasn't so jealous of his ex working across the street. In the family picture, you can see Eduardo playing with his daughter Sofia and thinking about his music store most likely, or just his favorite musical instrument. He plays the violin, and of course his one true hobby is music and dance. That's why he is secretly glad that he lost his job, because it was not connected to music. Or probably it was, but not as directly. Lind, his wife, on the other hand, is thinking about Eduardo's ex-wife Adeline Villard, the same Adeline who is Marceline Gruten's best friend. She indeed works across the street here in the neighborhood. This is Strings of Love. This is Eduardo's music store, and this is Adeline's makeover. This is Adeline Villard's beauty salon, or hair salon, I'd rather say. If it was a Sims 3 world, they could indeed meet each other every single day, but unfortunately it's The Sims 3. But you can still sort of imitate that part using stuff like teleporters to teleport Eduardo to Adeline's lot, or teleport Adeline to Eduardo's business lot. You can still play this part of the story. Anyway, now I will go to the mystery house. Welcome to the mystery house, guys. As you can see, it was way easier for me to build this one because it's just a rectangle. Probably I should stick to this type of buildings in my future neighborhoods, if you will want to see them after this mess. I don't know, but overall I think that this house definitely looks nicer. I also like the fact that it's in the more historical part of the neighborhood. Yeah, here you can see the library, some other residential lots. Anyway, let's get to The Sims. The household consists of Eduardo Mestre and his wife Lind. Here is Eduardo, here is Lind, and their toddler daughter Sophia, who's here playing with blocks. Nothing crazy, they seem to be pretty friendly, but let's see their family album. It all started when Eduardo met his first wife Adeline. They met each other on the local square, they played chess together and fell in love with each other. How romantic. Yeah, the second shot are them having their wedding, and you can also see Marceline. She was not married yet, I believe, or probably she'll... No, I don't think. I think Adeline married first. Marceline is sitting there, and there is also Eduardo's mother Tatiana and his best friend Ali Karam, who's one of the local townies. The third shot is way more spicy. Eduardo was having affairs on his wife, and I don't know if you can tell this by his clothes, but he was a university professor and he was having these affairs with his students. No wonder that in the fourth shot you can see him being sad about losing his job after his co-workers saw him making out with Lind, his current wife. The next one is pretty simple. It's just Eduardo on his community lot discussing something concerning his business. And the next one, yeah, shows you this part of the story where Adeline literally works across the street from Eduardo. I strongly recommend checking out Eduardo's relationship panel, and well, I think I will just say it to you, they still have crazy good chemistry, guys. It's better than it is with Lind. And in the final picture, Lind is getting mad over the fact that Eduardo brought her to Adeline's hair salon when he could have brought her to any other hair salon. There is literally another one just nearby, but he brought her to Adeline's place, and she's probably saying something like, "Why did you bring me to her place? Don't try to fool me, I know that you are still friends with her," something like this. She's really mad. And as for the curious facts, guys, the curious fact number one, look at Lind's aspiration. Please do not get fooled by the whole story of Eduardo flirting with his students. He is not as much of a perv as you may think. You should really take a look at Lynn's memories and also read Eduardo's bio to understand what's going on here. Another interesting fact is that Eduardo's got the most memories. His memories, yeah, you can see, he's got a ton of them. So basically you can even say that this guy is the most well-written sim in this neighborhood. And the final interesting thing is that Eduardo and overall this entire family are based on real people. They are based on one of the professors that I had at university. Luckily, he was not my professor, guys, but he was teaching literature to one of my roommates from the dormitory, and it was well known that this guy kept on having affairs with his students. His second wife was his ex-student, and they had a daughter together, but they still divorced for some reason. Who knows what reason it was, but he continued the tendency, and he was still seeing his students. I've even watched quite an interesting scene myself once when he was holding hands with a girl who was even younger than myself, and I am at least 25 years younger than that professor, so it's crazy. And probably Linda is not Eduardo's final choice, you see. Now I will go to the third family, the Villars. Here is the Villars family picture. Adeline and Hugo are smiling, but their son Gregorio is clearly mad. And here is the family description. It's crystal clear that Gregorio's parents don't love each other, but they always put on these idiotic smiles whenever he's around. He can't wait to go to college and leave the lies behind. I really like the detail of a mask over the sofa. It's true indeed, both Adeline and Hugo are wearing masks, so whenever they go to some lots in the neighborhood and try to pretend to be a happy family when they are not. And honestly, I think this family resembles the Pleasants a little. I won't dive into the details, but they definitely do. And now I will go to their family house. Here I am on the Villars lot. There are still some roofing problems, but probably they're not as severe as they were for the Gruten family. This household consists of 3 Sims. Obviously, we have Hugo. Let me zoom in. Yeah, that's Hugo, the father of the family. We also have his wife Adeline. She is taking a bath. Unfortunately, yeah, she's pixeled. You won't be able to see her face, but I still believe that she is quite pretty. And there is also their teenage son Gregorio, who is here studying something in his bedroom. I think I can zoom in, right? Oh, sorry. So bad at it. Yeah, that's him. I think he was lucky enough to resemble his mother more. Anyway, before I get to the family album, I will say that their family album is my favorite one in this neighborhood. You will soon see why, probably, hopefully. The first picture shows you how Hugo attempted to get his very first kiss from Adeline, but she rejected him, telling him something like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? We're just friends. And Marceline, Adeline's bestie, is laughing at Hugo because he's a loser. In the second picture, it's literally nearly the same situation. Again, Hugo attempted to make out with Adeline, but she is backing off again and being like, what are you thinking, Hugo? You're such a good friend to to me, you are such a nice guy, but I don't want to ruin our friendship or something like that. In the third picture, Hugo is lounging on the sofa in what is supposed to be his parents' house. And his parents are getting mad at him because he refuses to get a job. You can see that his mother is asking him, when are you going to get a job, Hugo? Most likely never. However, in the next picture, the parents seem a lot happier because they are really getting along with Adeline's parents. It's a wedding day and they seem to be very happy to see that their families are getting reunited. And in the back, however, you can see that Adeline doesn't seem happy. I don't know, you should probably see that picture in the snapshot section of your documents folder. I don't know how to explain, but you should really zoom in. I mean, that way you will be able to see that Adeline is yawning while Hugo is telling her something exciting. She's not happy about the wedding. And in the next picture, she's already boasting about her son's success to her employee, Michel Azar, a townie. And the next one shows you what Hugo is doing in his free time because he's unemployed. Oh, well, Hugo is quite a character. He believes that he is a good writer, but you should totally see his hobbies panel and take a look at his skills. And in the final picture, Adeline is smiling happily. She is gassing up for her working day because she 100% will see Eduardo somewhere in the street. And Gregorio, her son, is starting to suspect that his mother is probably in love with someone else. She's in love with someone else who's not his father. You can see here that she indeed still has a crush on her ex-husband. As for the funny details, Adeline, as I said, did not want that marriage to Hugo to happen at all. Yeah, she's got a negative memory about her divorce with Eduardo and negative memories about her engagement and marriage to Hugo. She didn't want this at all. I strongly recommend resurrecting Adeline's parents. Their graves are somewhere here. No, they're outside. Yeah, resurrect these guys to see why Adeline ended up with Hugo. You should especially be paying attention to her mother's memories. She was quite a character. And another interesting fact about the family is that Gregorio here on his personality panel, you can see that he originally was more outgoing, but he is getting more and more antisocial these days, sadly. The fourth family are the Kellers, and unfortunately here on this shot you cannot see Irma's face even, and she is the one who is the Keller. The other household members are not the Kellers. Anyway, Irma's excitement about the growing popularity of her cafe doesn't let her see that her girlfriend isn't nearly as enthusiastic about it. Do Nia's dreams really threaten to shatter the business? You can see that Nia here, Nia Murimi, again not sure how to pronounce her last name, she's dreaming about being a doctor, while Irma herself is all about cooking and the cafe. Again, this is yet another of the houses in the rich Sims district. Do you want to tell me that I forgot to put a roofing piece here? Yes, apparently I did. Really sorry, guys. Anyway, the Keller family consists of 3 members, and all 3 of them are currently in the kitchen. Yeah, like this. Well, unfortunately, Irma's crying. I need to unpause the game so that you can see her. And the random garden club dude has just been generated. Anyway, that's Irma Keller, the only Keller in the house. And there is also her girlfriend Nia Murimi, as I said, and her aspiration is low because her lifetime want is to become chief of staff, but as you can see, she doesn't have a college degree, which is a huge problem here. And finally, there is Nia's son, Neo Jones. It took me ages to zoom in on this kid, but he's just a regular guy with a grow-up aspiration, but visually he clearly takes more after his father Gary Jones from the Jones household. And before I get to this family's photo album, I will say that they have the most interesting lore. Hopefully you will be able to see it from their photo album. You can see in the first picture that Irma, she is the blonde girl here, was an orphan. That's the orphanage court. And her adopted mother, Helen Keller, is telling her that she wants to take her to a nicer place. In the second picture, you can see a party. It's Helen's birthday party, and it unfortunately was interrupted by this guy, who is none other than Helen's biological son, Albert. And Albert is currently one of the local townies. Irma here is shocked that she, as it turned out, had a brother all that time. And Helen and the guest here are both embarrassed because obviously Albert was not invited to the party and they did not want to see him at all. In the third picture, Irma already has got pink hair. She's a teenager and she's having dinner with her mother and her best friend Nivea Paez, another townie. And apparently she's coming out as a lesbian. But as you can tell by Helen and Nivea's faces, they seem to be accepting of the fact. In the next picture, however, Irma is already having an argument with her best friend over a girl that she was dating at the moment. Nivea is telling Irma that, hey, can't you see that girl is only with you because you're rich? And Irma is like, rubbish. But in the next scene, she's already getting flirty with Nia. She's ordering coffee for her. And the next thing that happened was Nia and Neo moved in with Irma to her place, but Neo, as you can see, is still thinking about his parents' divorce. And finally, here is all Nia's enthusiasm about working at Irma's cafe. She prefers having scientific disputes with a bowl to actually serving coffee, while Irma herself is super excited and she works hard. By the way, I think this is the best photo in Feriado Town's album, because I love how you can see the street partially from this angle. I think it looks very nice. As for the funny details, first of all, you should absolutely take a look at Irma's family tree, and you should also resurrect her mother. She is buried here. Actually, all the graves are not supposed to be where they are. I just did not build a cemetery in this neighborhood because I was unsure if I wanted the cemetery to be in Veronaville or in Feriado Town, and I decided not to build it even in the main hood version of the neighborhood. Probably you will find a nicer spot that I would have found for a cemetery. But yes, you should totally resurrect Helen and take a look at her memories to find out what has happened between her and her biological son Albert. Also, another interesting storytelling part is that Nia here, as I said, wants to be a doctor, but her dream did not come true and it never will because of the lack of education. But here you can see that her son is really interested in cooking, while Nia herself is sort of already having doubts about her relationship with Irma. The question is, will Nia let her son be happy? Will she let her son achieve his dreams? And his dream is to cook, obviously. Irma could be a very nice sim who would lead him into the culinary world, but will Nia let him be happy, or will she just get bitter over the fact that her own dreams will never come true? That's the question. The fifth family are the Wilkes. The Wilkes are new money, but their problems are as old as time. Celeste often finds herself wondering if they'll end when and if she leaves Ludwig. Yes, you can see Ludwig and Celeste both thinking about their oldest son Adam, who doesn't live with them anymore. And while Ludwig is mad, Celeste is clearly very heavily distressed. And there is also their daughter Eva. She's just oblivious to all the mess that's going on in her family. She's just talking on the phone to some of her friends. That's the Wilkes house. I think it's already getting better and better. The Gruten's house, I think, yeah, turned out quite ugly. As you can see, the Wilkes even have a pool here, so they are even richer than the Grutens, I suppose. Anyway, the family consists of Ludwig. He is here in his, you can already tell what kind of career he had and how they got this fancy house. He is standing here in this trophy room where he keeps all the nicest items that he has stolen. There is also his wife Celeste, like this. She's also quite pretty. As you can see, she's a family sim. And finally there is their teenage daughter Eva. She's just sitting here watching TV, and she definitely takes more after her father. Let's take a look at the family album. It all started pretty well. Ludwig and Celeste were really in love with each other. But then Ludwig lost his job because he crossed someone's path and became enemies with a wrong person. As you can see here, they used to live in one of the apartments that I have here in this neighborhood. In this shot you can see Celeste, she is pregnant with Eva, and Ludwig is playing with Adam. But then you can also understand that, Ludwig has already gotten into the criminal career, and here he is discussing some evil plans with his ex-co-worker Mario Coltu, a townie. And of course, at some point, Celeste, his wife, found out what was her husband's occupation. She's accusing him of being a thief, and he is clearly mad. In the next shot, you can see that Ludwig got really shocked that his son turned out to be gay. By the way, the shot is already taken in this house. Thanks to Ludwig's career, they were able to buy this quite fancy home. And in the last shot you can see Celeste. She is looking at Ludwig and Eva, who are lounging by the pool, and she is thinking if she should divorce Ludwig or not. She's having doubts, you see, because her daughter Eva has quite a strong relationship with her father. This is why Celeste is uncertain if she should leave her husband or not. As for the funny details in the family, first of all, Celeste here's got a memory about losing a fight to Ludwig. Please guys, do not consider it a sign that Ludwig regularly beats his wife. That was not the case. I created this neighborhood, and I totally know that I intended it to be just one slapping episode. Also, another proof that I have that he does not beat his wife regularly is that his memories can show you that he indeed was in love with his wife, unlike Basil Grooten, for example, and also his current relationship panel. He still has a crush on his wife. He most likely regrets what he did in the past. Another funny detail concerns Eva. She is friends with a paper delivery boy. So I recommend downloading a mod that lets you call NPCs so that this friendship does not fade away, because it shows what kind of a person Eva is. She is rich now, but she's not arrogant. She doesn't mind being friends with poor folks. And the final thing is that I strongly recommend you reading the description of Ludwig's nightclub. Yes, this guy, the mean one who slapped his wife once, only once, guys, please. Yeah, he owns a nightclub, but the description is very interesting. It adds yet another layer of complexity and bitterness to his relationship with his son Adam. So you should totally read that. The next household are the Clarks. Vikram was the only sim who lent his grandson a helping hand in his hard times. Now it's been years since they've lived together, so maybe Adam's got a chance to talk his grandpa into quitting his job and starting a business together. And this shot is just showing what I've just read. Adam is asking his grandfather if they should start a business together. You see, both of them work in other businesses. Vikram is an employee in Basil's Grooten car showroom, and Adam works for Eduardo Mestre. Ta-da! This is, I suppose, the nicest residential lot in Feriado Town. It's the Clark house. And the household, of course, consists of Vikram. He is here ready to go to bed, and his grandson Adam. I used a more realistic lifespan for the neighborhood, so yes, both Adam and his parents are still adults, and Vikram is an elder. In normal gameplay without any realistic lifespans, having a grandchild who would be that old would be impossible. And here is Adam, by the way. As you can see, he clearly takes more after his mother and his mother's father, Vikram. Now we'll get to the family album. Here you can see how Vikram met his wife Angel. He was a police officer, so that's another reason to why Celeste was so mad over the fact that Ludwig turned out to be a criminal. Her own father was a police officer. He was doing the opposite thing in his life. And yeah, he was patrolling the streets apparently, and Angel was jogging by, and he fell in love with her. The next shot is their wedding. I just wanted it to be in a very beautiful place. The third picture shows us Vikram and Angel discussing probably expanding their family, and Celeste here, a little girl, is bringing her most likely A+ report card. And in the next picture, unfortunately, Angel is already dead, and both Celeste and her father Vikram are crying, looking at her pictures. And finally, Vikram is already an elder, and he's playing with his granddaughter Eva, while Adam is looking at some paintings in his grandfather's house. Obviously, judging by the fact that Adam here is painting at the moment, you can already say that his one true hobby is arts and crafts. The next picture shows you how Vikram challenged his son-in-law about the fact that Ludwig slapped Celeste, his daughter. Both of them are mad. And the final shot shows you how Adam ran away from home after losing his crush as a friend thanks to Ludwig's behavior, and Vikram is here ready to welcome his grandson to his place and probably make his life a little happier. As for the interesting details in this household, the number one detail is Vikram's name. I don't know if you can tell this or not, but this guy was supposed to be and is supposed to be half Indian. I like to imagine, and obviously you can consider it canon because I created the hood. His mother was Indian and his father was an Englishman. His father moved to India, that's where they got married and had Vikram, but at a certain point in his life Vikram decided to go back to Europe, to his father's sort of homeland, partially. And another fact also concerns Vikram. Here in his memories you can see that he was already, well, it's here, yeah, he grew up badly after his wife's passing, apparently, that he got a job at Basil Gruten's car showroom as an elder. And the reason to that is that he really wanted to help his daughter out. After he found out that Ludwig was being mean to his daughter, he decided that he needed to get a job in case Celeste would want to move in with him and divorce Ludwig. This is how nice he is, by the way. He literally has 7 nice points. And the final household in Feriado Town are the Jones siblings. The Jones siblings truly live up to the name of their town. Siestas, parties, and lots of new experiences. But Brenda is slowly getting annoyed at Gary for not helping her to pay the bills. I love this main family picture. Gary is in his underwear, thinking about his successful parties. Brenda is in her pajamas, thinking about Reaper Man keeping on coming to their place, and there is trash all over the floor. I love this. And this is the Jones house. Again, it has some roofing problems. I'm really bad at it. I keep on saying that, but unfortunately it doesn't change the neighborhood for the best. Well, probably you can see that the house nearby is better. Probably it's not as bad every time. Anyway, the household consists of Gary here. He is standing on this rooftop. I think I need to unpause the game for this. Oh, again, I keep on doing this. Yeah, like this. Let me unpause the game. Yeah, you can see that this guy, in spite of the fact that he was made from the 25th face template, or he inherited it from his mother, he's still pretty good looking. I was actually surprised when he turned out to be so handsome. And of course there is also his younger sister. Yeah, you probably thought that she was older, but no, she is the younger sibling. There is Brenda. Let me zoom on her. Yeah, that's her. Oh, pretty charming, right? But looks nothing like her brother. Now I'll get to the family pictures. And the first one is very interesting. You can see Gary Jones, and he's playing here in the middle of the road with his best friend Nick Crossman. That was done deliberately. The number one thing that this picture shows is that Gary has been very close with Nick for years. They've been friends since primary school, and this shot also shows you that they are bad boys. They enjoy breaking the rules and so on. In the second picture you can see Brenda, who's dancing with her father Noah. Meanwhile, her mother Mariana is watering the flowers. Nature was Mariana's one true hobby, and Noah was employed in the music career, so it's no wonder that he enjoys dancing with Brenda. In the third picture, Brenda is already a teenager and she is clearly sad about her parents' untimely demise. And meanwhile, behind her back, you can see Gary's best friend Nick, who's telling her something about dates. Here, guys, that's the detail number one. Please do not consider it something like, oh, Nick is asking a teenager out on a date. No, it's not what this picture is supposed to mean. I think you could probably tell by the gesture that he's making. He's just trying to console Brenda. He is telling her that, hey, Brenda, look at the brighter side. Now no one will tell you who to date and when to go out. That's what he's telling her here. And she herself, by the way, misinterpreted these words. I will get to this later, but that's clearly not asking a teenager out on a date, because Nick is already an adult here and she's still a teen. In the next picture, you can see Gary talking to Nia Murimi. They are in their working outfits. They both worked in the business career at a certain point of their lives. This is how they met each other. The next picture, I just love it. Brenda, it's still a teenager, probably 15 or 16 or something like that. She's in the middle of a very passionate makeout with her teenage lover, Marcelo Fasano, a local townie. And Gary is just looking at them, drinking beer casually and being like, whatever. He absolutely doesn't care that his teenage sister might get pregnant or something like that. That's what kind of an older brother he is. In the next photo, you can see Nia, Neo, and Gary. And Nia and Gary are arguing with each other because Gary doesn't have a job and Nia is the only one who pays the bills. And poor Neo is just listening to all that mess, sitting in his parents' bedroom. And in the final shot, you can see Brenda being admired by one of the local womanizers, maybe. That's Gilles Faron. He is a Basil Gruten's employee. So these were the family pictures. We are getting back to Brenda and her being bad at understanding what Nick Crossman meant. She fell in love with Nick when she was a teenager. After all that talk, she probably thought that he was indeed hinting on himself when he was talking about having dates. And she fell in love with him, and later she even attempted to kiss him. But of course he rejected her because she was probably just 13 and he was already 18. Of course she was too young, but as you can see, she's finally old enough to be with him. Yeah, that's the first curious fact. Another interesting fact also concerns the memories. If you compare Gary and Brenda's memories about a certain lady, Daniela Garcia here, who is a local townie and basically a local sort of sex worker, you will understand something very awful about Gary. You see, when Gary and Brenda lost their parents, there was a fire on the lot, the social services decided to leave Brenda with Gary. She was only 12, but they were like, oh, her older brother is already an adult, he is 18, he will take care of her. But if you compare their memories about Daniela, that's like an indication of a certain time period, you will see that it was not Gary who was providing for his sister. No. It was the teenage Brenda who was providing for her awful, lazy older brother. And I love this. What I love about the Jones siblings is that originally I did not have any high hopes about them. They were just needed to add some fresh blood to the neighborhood, and I also needed a guy who would father Niamurimi's child. But then I slightly and accidentally, by the way, made them resemble the Caliente sisters, and this is when they became a lot more interesting. By the way, you can try finding out all the similarities to the Caliente sisters yourselves. And this is it for the lore overview of Feriado Town. Please accept my apologies for the delay. I finished making the main hood version of it months ago, but I really wanted to accompany it by the lore video, and then it took me 2 months to finish my downtown renovation for the recent Pleasant View, and even longer to get through all the playable townies I have in the Let's Play. I'm also sorry for the quality of the local builds, especially the residential ones. Of course, I believe that I did not screw up as badly as Maxis did in Desiderata Valley, but I know that most creators of custom hoods usually look for inspiration online, and I simply don't really like building. Why hide the truth? As for the fact that I forgot about creating hosts and didn't build a cemetery for the main hood version of Feriado Town, you see, at a certain point I simply got sick of the neighborhood, so I don't feel particularly sorry about it. Besides, I still recommend getting the sub-hood version of Feriado Town, as there is definitely more space for placing a cemetery in Veronaville. But regardless of this recommendation of mine, you can still download the main hood version of Feriado Town following the link on my Tumblr. And here I'd like to ask those of you who've already played in Feriado Town. Did you guys make Eduardo Mestre return to his ex-wife? Did you add Feriado Town as a Veronaville sub-hood and pair Eva Wilk with Tybalt Cap, for example? I'm really curious to know, as I'm currently only at the end of the so-called Rotation 0 in my Veronaville and getting through the local playable townies before starting a proper first rotation. Anyway, it's really time to end this huge video. See you soon in the recent Pleasant View.